Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by International Diamond Center, Domino's, Atlantic Roofing, Meldon Law, Los Linderos Tequila, Comfort Temp, Campus USA Credit Union, Pomodoro Cafe, Titan MRI and Imaging, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Crystal Air, Miapa Latin Cafe, Radware, Fairlife Milk, Gator Trim Lights, Quality Plumbing, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, and the Head Beer Coach.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
It is time to eat some lunch and talk some sports. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Sports Scene as you listen on WRUF. I'm Steve Russell. Charlie is producing the broadcast today. We thank you for making time out of your busy day to talk with us today. Got a lot of good stuff planned for you today. But as always, want to tell you we come to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, introducing full color landscape lighting. If you want to do your place orange and blue, guess what? These are the people that can do it for you as well. Gator Trim Light can make your home game day ready. You can visit GatorTrimLight.com to find out more. And we are always fueled by our friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. And make sure when you go see them in person that you tell them Sports Scene sent you. A lot of fun at Coach Spurrier's event last night. I had a chance to see some old friends in town. Doug Johnson was there, and Noah Brindise was there, and Terry Jackson, and a bunch of other guys. And we media types got to interview some of the coaches and players that were there. You'll hear at least one of those interviews today. Got some high school coaches we're going to talk to today as well, because a lot of the area coaches that we talked to last week won their games, so they moved on in the high school playoffs. Quality Plumbing sponsoring the first hour of the show today. We appreciate them. You can rely on the same company Gainesville's trusted since 1984. Quality Plumbing, their name says it all. And don't forget, all of our guests, courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971, the only injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Meldon Law won't back down. Now, we will take calls a little later on. We've got a bunch of guests today. We'll get your calls between that. I wonder how all of you feel about two things. Are you concerned at all? And I think some people are about, where Florida currently is seated in the brackets. I think that stuff takes care of itself. I think the highest floor is going to get to 2. We will see. And then I'm going to talk to you about some of the changes that the UFL, United Football League, has proposed, because its season's coming up. I like some of them. I don't know about you, and especially now with gambling being what it is, right? I got to tell you, and I admit this, when I was a high school coach, I was really hard on officials. I was bad when it came to that. But part of me almost wishes we didn't have all this deep replay and stuff. But we do. So we can talk about that. But I do want to talk about some of the changes, and some of the changes they're proposing actually goes a little retro. So it'll be cool. But we're going to start the show by bringing in Florida's new offensive coordinator. Buster Faulkner joins us here on Sports Scene now. Coach, good to have you. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me, man. I look forward to it.
Coach, I want to ask, spring ball is coming up. You're coaching here for the first time, new bunch of guys. What are you looking to accomplish on your side of the ball when spring practice starts?
Yeah, when we get done here in 15 days, the biggest thing we want to be able to come out and say we've established identity of who we're going to be. So that's the biggest thing we're looking for overall as an offense, and the other thing is, like, we want to find out who's tough and who play with some physicality, obviously learn the offense. And so those are the things as a whole that we want to come out of spring with, toughness, be able to have an identity leading into the summer.
I always ask coaches I've not talked to before, how'd you get into coaching?
I got into coaching once I realized that my playing career was not going to last very long after college.
Just kind of discuss that process a little bit. Where'd you start, and how'd you get to where you are now?
Yeah, no, I realized it probably my senior year of high school that, hey, once I got done playing, I wanted to coach. I had a high school coach that I kind of looked up to, and I remember asking him one day on the practice field, hey, what's it like being a coach? And then, he explained to me and kind of went through it. And, then that's kind of where I chose. I chose to walk on at Valdosta State really because of the head coach at Valdosta State at the time was Chris Hatcher, and he was originally a walk-on at Valdosta, and he was a young head coach. And so, so that's where I chose to go, and that's kind of why I went there. And, obviously had a chance to work at several places along the way, and learned a bunch from a lot of great people. And as you learn from people, you kind of build your own philosophy and kind of what you want to do, and always evolving and looking at other coaches across the country of how they do things, and just always looking to get better.
What made you want to go to work for Coach Summerall?
I think the biggest thing is his passion, his energy for the game of football. He's a proven winner. He's won at, two programs that, I've got a great deal of respect for. And, the thing about with him is, kind of when he took over Troy, the 2 previous years, or 3 previous years, they really weren't very good. And he turned them into a winner instantly. And then he went to Tulane, and they had won some games the previous 2 years. So, like, he had been in, multiple situations as a head coach. One where he had to take over a program that, hadn't been as good. And then the other one, he was able to go in there and continue the success of a place. And that's not always easy to do, right? So he's versatile as far as it goes with, finding ways to win with the programs that he inherits.
How was it coaching Haynes King?
Oh, Haynes King was a pleasure to coach. Probably one of my favorite players that I've ever had the opportunity to coach, to be around on a day-to-day basis, with this day and age. And, like, all these kids have earned it and deserve it and this, that, and the other. Like, with everything that they get, Haynes was a throwback. And I think that's the reason he had a lot of success. He kept the main thing. He loved football. He wanted to be coached every day. He was the toughest guy in the building. Players loved him because of the way he went about his business. And when you get a chance to coach a guy like that, it's hard to leave a guy like that. And I'll forever be indebted to him, because, quite honestly, if it wasn't for Haynes King, then I probably wouldn't be sitting in the chair that I'm sitting in right now. So he was the best, and he was the ultimate competitor, ultimate teammate, and I'm always going to be looking for guys like him as long as I coach.
Florida's new offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner, joining us here live on Sports Scene. Appreciate his time. Buster, when you coordinate an offense, when you come up with what you want to do, how much does it evolve year to year? Do you look at a lot of tape off season and learn new things? How does that evolve for you?
Yeah, no, it's always evolving, right? Like, we're always looking to be on the cutting edge, be ahead of the game. We're right now in college football, and you've got all the resources. Every program's got, a bunch of coaches, a bunch of guys that help out, the access to film, now the the iPad is a thing that everybody can use on the sidelines that wasn't in college football a few years ago. So they're able to see different tendencies, different things, within series. So, we always want to be ahead of that. And that's something that's very important to me. We do a great deal of studies in the off season. We'll pick different programs at all different levels that have been successful on offense or successful in certain situations, whether it be short yardage, red zone, whatever it is. We'll study those, see how it fits in to what we want to do or how it could help us be better. And, really the other thing with that is play into the strengths of the players. And that's something that we're going to do here. Is obviously we're going to build a foundation this spring of what we want to be as far as terminology, formations, snap counts, routes, different things like that. But that doesn't mean we're not going to evolve to, hey, maybe we throw the ball better than we run the ball, or maybe we run the ball better than we throw the ball, or maybe we run this concept better than we run this other concept. So we need to do this more and find different ways to do it. So we're going to put in the foundation, and then we're going to morph to what it is that we're really good at and try to do that a bunch of different ways.
Last question, Buster. I mean, obviously not being on the practice field yet, but what you see in terms of the roster, who's on it, do you like the talent on the offensive side of the ball?
I've been pleased with all that. We're a very inexperienced football team on offense when it comes to snaps played. We've got some guys that played some, like Eric Singleton. He played 1,800 career snaps, but he hadn't done it here at Florida. And then Najee Harris, I think, was over 1,400. And after that, I don't know that we had a guy that had played a career snaps of 1,000. I don't think we had anybody else over 1,000, and then we really had a lot of guys under 400, which means we hadn't played a lot of football. So we got to get them caught up to speed. We need as many reps as we can get between now and the time we kick this thing off. September the 5th against Florida Atlantic. So that's going to be our main focus. But the energy's been really good. We've got a long way to go. But I feel the eagerness and the want to is there, and that's all you can ask for. And when you got that, you got a chance. And so really excited to work with this group. Got a great staff. We're all hungry, eager, ready to get this thing rolling next week in spring ball. All
right, that's a good note to end on. Coach, I appreciate your time. Thank you. Love to have you back sometime. Look forward to meeting you in person, and appreciate your time.
Anytime, Steve. Thanks so much.
You
appreciate
got it, Buster.
What you do.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too. Buster Faulkner, Florida's new offensive coordinator here. We're going to take a break and come back. When we do, we're going to flip to high schools. Williston's girls are in the midst of a playoff run. Their coach, Willie Powers, is actually on the bus, going to go play a game later on today. So hopefully he joins us there as you listen to Sports Scene, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Jalen Foote. Gators baseball dominated Kennesaw State over a 3-game series this past weekend. Florida finished the series with a 12-9 victory on Sunday. Gators head coach Kevin O'Sullivan spoke to media on the win despite it not being their best performance.
Good teams figure out a way to win even when you don't play as well as you should, and that was obviously a good example of what today was like.
Now the Gators look forward to a 2-game series against FIU. The first game is home tonight at 6:30 p.m. Next, moving to high school hardwood, the FHSAA Roll State semifinals begin tonight, with a couple of local teams in action. On the girls' side, first seed Wilson plays fourth seed Blountstown tonight at 8 p.m. And for the boys, second seed Trenton takes on third seed Wilson at 6 p.m. Both games will take place at a neutral site in Jacksonville.
Hey folks, it's Steve Russell for my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. They've been in business for over 45 years. That in itself says a whole lot. Take a look around you when you drive. Take a look at the car in front of you, alongside of you. There's a really good chance it'll have a Southeast Car Agency tag, just like my vehicle does, and many vehicles before that have as well. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to the good people at Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Gator Nation, ready to light it up? Gator Trim Light has already brightened homes and businesses across North Florida, and now they're bringing the heat with full color landscape lighting. Light up your palm trees, bushes, pools, patios, barbecue decks, everything in orange and blue. Whether it's a back porch retrofit or a full custom landscape install, Gator Trim Light makes your home game day ready. Turn your patio into the ultimate victory zone and cheer your Gators on to a big win. Visit GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. Gator Trim Light. Let there be Gator Light.
In the mood for a delicious Asian fusion cuisine for lunch? Then head to P.F. Chang's in Gainesville. They have lunch specials starting at just $11.99. Happy hour, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Enjoy $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Wednesdays are girls' night with half-price wine and champagne bottles. And any day, anytime, sip house and lucky cocktails for $8.99. Celebrate every meal at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch, drinks, and fun.
It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their pressed ciabatta pesto chicken with fries, grilled chicken, assorted roast peppers, mushrooms, mozzarella, and pesto aioli.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Craving real Cuban flavor? Come to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, where every bite brings you home. From our juicy roast chicken with yellow rice and black beans, our breakfast options to sweet plantains, empanadas, and our iconic Cuban cafecito, we've got what your taste buds are waiting for. And with 6 locations, there's sure to be one near you serving up warm hospitality and authentic breakfast, lunch, or dinner vibes whenever hunger strikes. So head over to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, the best Cuban food north of Miami. Visit miapalatincafe.com or stop by your nearest location today.
The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Zach Albuquerque. Weekdays at 4, right here on WRUF.
Well, we are in the midst of the high school basketball playoffs, both for boys and girls. I've known this guy for a long time. I played softball with his dad for a long time. Willie Powers joins us now. He is the girls basketball coach at Williston High School, and they're having a heck of a year. Willie, it's good to have you back, man. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on, Steve.
First of all, just discuss the journey so far, Willie, that your team has taken to get to where you are now.
We've come a long ways in 2 years. The expectations were not that high when we got there, but, my expectations is always, play for a championship, or why are you playing? For a state championship, and the young ladies have really bought into what we're asking them to do, and now they're seeing the fruits of their labor.
Look, you were really successful when you were at PK Young. What made you take this job?
Well, it was basically sometimes as a coach, you can wear out your welcome, and I thought Williston gave me a chance to be wanted. I think I was tolerated more at PK than I was anything else. So, I think it was that time that I had, overset my time there, and it was just time to go, to greener pastures.
Tell me about your team this year. What do you like about them, Willie?
We have, young ladies who can all score the basketball, and they share the ball, and they're pretty good basketball players. So, this group, you have to guard all 5, and that's a little bit, different than you'll having to guard just 2 players. So this group has, become a very good, deep basketball team.
Now, for those who don't know, Willie is literally on a bus getting ready to play a game today or later today. So tell folks who you're playing, what the game is, Willie, so folks can be educated.
We have Bluntstown, who's 25-2, very good athletic team. I think they were in the Final Four last year. But very good basketball team that, that flies around, very athletic, So, if we just take care of the basketball, execute, and play good defense, we will have a very good chance tonight.
Based on, you kind of hit on this, Willie, based on what they do, what do you have to try to stop to get yourself successful?
Just take care of the basketball. I mean, don't rush. Take a 10-second call before you turn it over. That way they don't get in transition and get baskets. And that way you can let your defense set. And, I think we could defend them and get some easy baskets. So, basically it's going to be who take care of the ball and, and who plays the hardest.
It's interesting to me, you and Coach Irwin there, both your teams are really good, really deep into the playoffs. Basketball's pretty good at Williston now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Jim has done a great job with that group. He's really welcomed me in as the girls coach. And sometimes that's not easy for girls coaches, but he's welcomed me in with open arms and it's really helped, me with the girls and, do things together. Like I said today, we're on the charter bus headed to the game together. And that, I think that's very important for a small town community. Like I said, the send-off was amazing. Police escort, just the little things that, make, the kids feel appreciated. So that has really been good.
And if I'll tell folks, Willie, where how do I want to say this? What you're playing for right now? What happens with a victory?
So with a victory, we play into the game to get to the state championship game. And like I said, this group has never been to a Final Four, and they don't really know what the expectations are. Like I told them in the last 2 days in practice, we're not here to just be happy with going to the Final Four. We're here to win the Final Four. And that should be our goal every year we step on the court. It's not to win a district championship. It's to win a state championship.
Well, I hope you do. You know that. I wish you luck. And it's been a great year for you. And I'm going to get Coach on the phone here in just a couple of minutes, too. So we'll talk to him as well. But thanks for doing it, Willie. And hopefully we'll get you back after you win.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
You got it, Willie. Thank you. You got it, Willie. He's coached around here a long time. Willie Powers, former coach at PK Young, now the girls basketball coach at Williston. If you have Facebook Live questions, Charlie, our producer, gets them to me courtesy of Ruzogra State Farm, your go-to agent in Gainesville, North Central Florida, for car, home, casualty, and life insurance. YouTube questions from Campus USA Credit Union. They're, of course, the place where Coach Spurrier does his banking, founded on the UF campus, serving our community for 90 years. All of the calls today, courtesy of Titan MRI and Imaging, 3 locations in Gainesville, 1 in Lake City to serve you better. Calling for the best MRI. You can find out more at TitanMRI.com. And the email, of course, srussell@WRUF.com, courtesy of International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators, carrying an assortment of designer engagement rings, wedding bands, watches, and fine jewelry. International Diamond Center is the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. And in talking to our high school coaches, I want to thank Gator Domino's for helping us with that. Proud to support local high schools is Gator Domino's. There is a Gator Domino's store in your neighborhood. You can call or click www.domino's.com today. All right, we've got a couple of minutes here. Now, the rest of the day here, let me just throw this out to you. We hope to have boys basketball coach at Williston, Jim Irvin, on with us in a couple of minutes. And then Pat Bradley from the SEC Network will join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. The rest of the day, it'll be us, okay? Now, I want to tell you, Gator Baseball has a mini-series. You don't see that very often midweek, but FIU's coming here tonight and tomorrow. Our coverage begins here tonight at 6:25. Gator softball, meantime, heading out west. They're going to play in California and trying to continue a season which has led them to not lose as of yet. I wanted to make sure I got an email in from yesterday because I did not get a chance to get to it. And it was from Scott, and he basically asked this question. He said, do you think the NBA would go after Todd Golden? I think the answer is yes. I mean, why not? First of all, I'm not saying he would go. I'm not saying any of that. But, history shows you there's been a lot of successful coaches in college that have gone on to coach in the NBA, and frankly, that's been mixed results. Some have been pretty good, some haven't. I mean, Rick Pitino wasn't exactly great in the NBA, right? Hell of a coach in college. So, it varies. But if you ever thought about that, as we begin to take calls here a little later on, we can do that. And I didn't know this. The SEC fined Kentucky's men's basketball coach, Mark Pope, fined him $25,000 for his post-game conduct and relating to officiating following the game at Auburn. There were some questionable, I'll say that, but pretty interesting that he was actually fined for what he did. So we will see what the saga is continuing forward. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then hopefully Williston's boys coach Jim Irwin will join us as they continue their march in the state playoffs as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF.
March Madness is coming to WRUF.
It's football season, touchdowns and celebrations, and unfortunately, injuries. If you're injured, call Titan MRI and Imaging. No need to deal with long wait times and high costs to get your scans done. Titan MRI and Imaging will save you time and money. And the experience at Titan MRI and Imaging, much more personal than the sterile atmosphere of a hospital. Joe and his team are personally involved and will guide you through the entire process at any of their 3 convenient locations. So if you need a scan, call Titan MRI and Imaging. Learn more at TitanMRI.com.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America?
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center in Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
Need a new AC and wondering who to call? I'm Kirk Smith, owner of Crystal Air and Water. Our team of professionals are strongly committed to responsiveness, problem resolution, customer satisfaction, and service excellence. We promise to meet the heating and cooling needs of your home with the most effective and energy-efficient products available. Maybe that's why we're the most liked AC company on Facebook. Follow us today. Crystal Air and Water, online at acpenguin.com.
License number CMC 1249384.
Yes, I'm calling Crystal Air and Water. Call Crystal.
If you're looking for premium, high-quality food served in an unforgettable atmosphere, you're going to love brunch at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
This is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet.
Complete with build-your-own omelet station, served every Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Reservations are encouraged, and walk-ins are always welcome.
Plus, you can enjoy bottomless, mimosas, and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
Good luck surviving the off-season, football fans.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Football's over, it's like a part of me just died inside.
200 days till football's back, but tonight I won't just cry, cause I've got a ways to play. And that's the place with Hard Rock Bet, I will survive.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
March Madness is coming to WRUF.
Well, again, I mentioned we just had Williston's girls coach, Willie Powers, on. Jim Irwin is the boys basketball coach at Williston, and they, again, are in the midst of a playoff run. He now joins us. Coach, back-to-back Williston coaches. Pretty nice going to a state tournament, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty special for our school and our community to have boys and girls in Jacksonville in the Final Four.
Willie mentioned this about, and I was going to ask if he didn't mention it, but I'll ask you. It must be pretty cool when you coach in a smaller place and the whole community gets behind you. You know, students, faculty, people in the community, restaurants, businesses. Is it like that now with the run y'all are making? Yeah,
we got the number this morning. From 8 a.m. Monday morning till this morning at 8 a.m., there's a $12,000 in donations from our small community to help us get to Jacksonville. We drove through the two secondary schools there. All the kids were out with posters and banners supporting us, to shut the town down, and had people along the streets as we were leaving in the charter buses. So it's a great community to be part of. Yeah, I mean, and again, because the town all gets behind you. Tell us about your opponent and what's next here. We have Trent ahead of us, very, very well coached team. They do a great job. They're fundamentally sound. They're not going to make many mistakes. So, we got to play. I think we got to make this an up-tempo game, a physical game, in order to make it interesting. Go back to the game you just won, Coach. What went right for you? What got you to where you're playing now? What got to, just maturity. I think at the beginning of the year we're so young. We have two returning players from last year on this team, quite a few freshmen, quite a few sophomores, 2 juniors and 3 seniors. So we play, 4 or 5 freshmen and sophomores majority of the game. So, just maturity throughout the season and the growth that they've developed, with hard work and just getting time on the court to adjust to the varsity speed. So, the run in the tournament, though, it's just, it's what we expected to do. We expect to play great defense, and which we did, and kept the tempo at a high level. When did you, in coaching this group, Jim, when did you think or thought you were pretty good? Well, I've known this group. Who've been looking forward to it coming up. This is no surprise to me with this group coming up. It's maybe a year earlier than I thought it would be, though. Isn't that the nice thing? Because in a smaller place, right, you get to see the kids come up. You get to see those younger kids grow. That's kind of an advantage, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's a huge advantage, especially when we have our middle school attached to our high school. So we're able to be involved and see the development of kids through our program. So it's a huge advantage for us. You mentioned about what Trenton does. Do you do a lot of looking at the other team, or is it more about what you all have to do to win a game? Well, obviously we've spent a lot of time in the film, watching film and getting familiar with each player on their team. That's what we try to do. We tell our kids, this is who you're guarding, but yet be familiar with each player on their team. So it's not a shock when they come on the court. Their habits, what they're going to do on the court. So, yeah, we spend a lot of time in the film room watching and preparing, and we just got to go do what we do. And, we're intense up into you defensively, so we just go do what we do defensively then. Well, congratulations to both of you for getting as far as you did. Hopefully you'll go a little further. Thanks for taking the time to come on with us, too. Yes, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, Jim. Thank you. Both Willie and Jim at Williston have done excellent work. Okay, now let us open the phone lines, 392-8255. You can email the show, srussell@wruf.com, and hopefully we will talk some sports with you here. And I understand today is not by the way, Luke McNeely gets to start tonight. Do we have the interview ready? Okay. Last night, the event at Coach Spurrier's place was really cool. It was so many former players came back. I just sat and watched for about 10 minutes. I sat down, and I saw where Coach Spurrier was sitting, and I watched all the former players just gravitate to him. That was pretty cool. And then Doug Dickey was there. Let me tell you,
I hope I look as good as Coach Dickey looks when I get to be his age. He looks amazing. He was the coach when I was in college. And he's still here. And it was great to be able to talk to him last night. So here's my conversation with the former Gator player and former Gator head coach in football, Doug Dickey. It is my pleasure to talk to former Gator football coach Doug Dickey, who's here at Spurrier's tonight. First of all, Coach, you look great. How you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling very good, thank you. I'm blessed to have a very good physician at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville who looks after me, and he's kept me going. So I feel good. I'm up and be able to play golf a couple times a week, and so life is good.
You know, you've seen a lot of football. I imagine when you look now and see how the game has changed and NIL and all that, what do you think of all this?
Well, I think a couple of things. One is the fans seem to like it. That the quality of the play going on is very good. And that there are a lot of very good football teams at the top levels who are playing against each other from time to time during the season. So the season ticket sales are very good. They got people waiting in line to buy season tickets. So it seems to be an okay thing for the players and the fans. The coaches are not real happy about it, a lot of them. But the players and the fans seem to be doing very well.
You know, you look at where the game is now, and, you know, players are bigger, stronger, faster. Do you think the state of the game is good?
Well, I think the quality of the athletes is good. And if you look at what's happening, instead of taking 25 freshmen, they're taking 12 to 15, and they're getting 12 or 15 transfers. So the quality of the team improved quicker than if they had to develop those people all from the bottom up. So it makes the quality of football stay pretty high for a long time.
You know, when I was a student, you were the coach. I never got to ask you this, I'm going to ask now. How'd you adopt the wishbone?
Well, how'd I adopt the wishbone? Well, I went to the University of Oklahoma, and I took my 3 coaches with me on offense, and we sat down for 4 days, and we watched every game they played the year before. And I finally figured out how they run their offense, and I came back and decided we could do quite a bit of it, not all of it that they did, but we could do a lot of it. And I had a lot of running backs. If you can remember, we had a pretty good stable of running backs, and it was the best way to get the best players on the field with those running backs. So put the wishbone in, and away we went.
I always wanted to ask you that. What was the best part for you, Coach Dickey, about coaching?
Well, I think coaching to me was watching all the players come, develop, and leave, get a degree, and move on into life. We had a number go into the NFL and play quite a while. Larry Brinson and Wes Chandler had great careers. So there were a lot of the kids that went on and had good professional careers. But it wasn't about that. It's about having all of them who came along, stayed there, went through all the program, were part of it, left as a great Gator when they left, and they've been loyal all the years.
When you left Tennessee to come here, was it a hard decision for you to make?
Yes, it was. It was a hard decision, but I wanted to come back home to Florida, and I had done about all I could do at Tennessee, and Neyland had set the standards there, and I'd done about all I could do. So I wanted to come to Florida and see if we could do it. We came real close, almost having that championship.
With Coach Summerall here, you think good things in the win for the Gators now?
I think so. I think he's got it in there, but it's a tough league now with 16 teams. In Texas and Texas A&M, Oklahoma being in the league now makes it a little tougher than it used to be.
Great to see you. Look great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. He's 93 years young, and I'm telling you, he looks great, and he's sharp as a tack. Really fun to talk to him yesterday. Don't know if you saw this. Charles Bediako trying again to play for Alabama. So far, the answer is no. An Alabama judge rejected his attempt to come back and play. ESPN obtained documents of this. Apparently, yesterday, his legal team asked the Tuscaloosa County Circuit Court and the Alabama Supreme Court for, quote, interim injunctive relief, unquote, to allow him to return to college basketball, as he still appeals after his request was denied. Well, again, the answer so far is no. And what I'm interested in, when Alabama goes to the NCAA tournament, what's the committee going to do with those games he played in? If it were me, and again, what do I know? My attorneys are Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. But, okay, anyway, bad pun. But a judge allowed him to play. It's not his fault. The NCAA or the committee should say, okay, because he was allowed to play. I don't know how you punish Alabama for that. I don't think that you can. We have not had I understand why, a lot of interviews, but let's open the phone lines now and talk a little sports. This is my struggle here when it's not controversy, okay? 392-8255. Again, you can email the show, srussell@wruf.com. Mike is upset because of bracketology, that the Big Ten and the Big 12 are hogging NCAA tournament top spots. What people have to remember here is the committee still has to take into account what you did in those early games. You just can't say, well, they were in November, they don't count. They count. So that is going to hold Florida back, in my opinion, from being a 1 seed. And you know what? If you're a 2 seed, I don't know that it's going to hurt you. I think it's going to be just fine. Tomorrow on the show, if everything again goes right, Seth Greenberg will be here. Talk some college basketball. Of course, game day coming to town. Patrick Young will be here tomorrow. Talk a little hoops as well. And a couple of more high school basketball coaches, teams in the state playoffs. Elliot Harris at Buchholz, and then Pop Williams over at Eastside. Thursday, going to have a guest host here. I'm going to bring him in here in a minute because I'm going to tell you who it is. Because yours truly is going to be on a bus going to Miami for baseball. And then on Friday, as I always say, if the technology gods will allow, we'll broadcast Sports Scene live from Miami. And by the way, the weather forecast there is not good. Thunderstorms and rain are expected 2 of the 3 days. So we'll see. I mean, that can change a lot. At least it won't be freezing. I mean, there's something to be said for that. It's going to be like in the 70s, so it won't be so bad. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then I'm going to tell you who is going to be here on Thursday in this chair. And I'll have a little segment with him here, too. Stay with us here on Sports Scene as you listen on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Miranda Vargas. UF Baseball is looking to continue their 7-game win streak when they go against FIU today at Condren Family Ballpark. The Gators took all 3 games in their set against Kennesaw State this weekend, scoring 32 total runs in the series. The sweep helped the Gators jump to number 10 in D1 Baseball's top 25. O'Sullivan acknowledged that even with poor performances, his team has found ways to win.
Good teams figure out a way to win, even when you don't play as well as you should. And that was obviously a good example of what today was like.
Today's game starts at 6:30 with coverage here starting at 6:25. Meanwhile, the high school boys basketball playoffs has some familiar faces. 2 local teams, the Trenton Tigers and Williston Red Devils, will face off in the Rural State semifinals at the UNF Arena in Jacksonville. While Williston has made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years, this is Trenton's first Final Four appearance. Tip-off is at 6 p.m.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida Bookstore at Wrights Union. The Florida Bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
At Comfort Temp Heating and Air, we're proud to celebrate 40 years as your #1 local HVAC company. We offer energy-efficient solutions featuring quality products from Lennox. Whether it's new installation, system repairs, or routine maintenance, we promise to never sell you anything you don't need. Our professional and experienced technicians provide reliable service you can trust and will keep you informed throughout the entire process. At Comfort Temp, comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable, and when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Sunny skies for us today, but temperatures below average, getting to just about 60 this afternoon. Lots of sunshine, though, for us. Mostly clear tonight and cold. Lows in the lower to mid-30s with patchy frost tomorrow morning. Then our warming trend sets up. Highs in the lower 70s tomorrow. We'll make it to the mid to upper 70s both on Thursday and on Friday. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
If it happens in Gator Nation, you hear it on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Just as I was about to say, Facebook Live questions courtesy of Rouge Oakwood State Farm and YouTube questions courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union. We're getting them here. Rick on YouTube. Oh, by the way, Graham Hall is here, and he is going to be Thursday's host. So I'm looking forward to having you do that.
I'm looking forward to
there you go.
I'm looking forward to being here. Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
going to be a fun time.
Thank you for doing that.
I'm going to have a little more fun than you. You're going to be on a bus traveling down for 6 hours. So.
That's true. At least if the weather cooperates, hopefully good. Stay here for a segment. We'll do this together if you want to. Rick on YouTube says, with you, Steve, don't like all the challenges in basketball. For the most part, I think the refs get it right. I mentioned the other day, there's no longer a 2-hour window for college basketball. That's out the window. Are you in favor of all these challenges and things now that are in the game?
I think it definitely can have some accountability for the referees. One of my least favorite things in sports is when a game ends and people are lamenting a missed call, where they're then saying, oh, we got cheated, like Mark Pope. Or they're coming out here and saying, oh, this call led to this. Well, now you have a chance for your coaching staff to actually fix that issue. You can be strategic with your challenges. You pretty much can get unlimited appeals, it feels like, where you can tell them to go to the monitor and look at this.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a Florida fan, you absolutely love challenges because you have the guys with the iPads behind. You have a coaching staff who is looking over and waiting for that replay all the time. And Florida wins, it looks like 90% of their challenges.
They sure
right
do.
now. So if you're a Florida fan, you love that rule. But if you are just a pace of play type guy, I totally get it, why it would be a little bit of a gripe. You know, the SEC and the officials tried to speed the game up coming into this year. And some of the things that they're reviewing and the replay calls, and you see there won't be a ton of, reviews of charge block calls right now. It's meant to speed the game up. And every once in a while you get an hour and 45-minute game, and I love that. But then some will take 2.5 hours, and that's a little bit too late. Those last 5 minutes sometimes can feel like 30 minutes. So I like the challenge rules. I don't think they're perfect because I don't get the whole unlimited appeals type
I don't
thing.
either. That's the part I don't get.
That's what I think can be refined a little bit. But right now, again, if you're a Florida fan, you absolutely love it because Todd Golden and his coaching staff have just crushed when they have opportunities to review things. They've nailed it more often than not.
Let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. David, hello.
Hey, Steve. How you doing today?
Good.
Good. It's a good day here in Tallahassee, too. I wanted to talk a minute about Coach Dickey. I'm going to have to go back to the archive because I only got the last half of that. But you and I were in school with Coach Dickey, and some great memories. Man, it's interesting. He said he came close because he did. When we look back and look at the talent that was on a couple of those teams, it was unbelievably good. And it's a case where I think that there's some things to be learned. Foremost in one of them is the culture of the team. Not that they weren't all good guys and all, but if you remember, they had a torn locker room, and guys didn't get along. It was a racial thing, and it was pretty tough. You remember all that?
There wasn't as much of that, in my opinion, as what it was made out to be. They did have a lot of talent on the team. And if you remember, it wasn't that long since the team had been integrated. But
that's right.
They ran, they adopted the wishbone, and they were really good at it. And, Jimmy DuBose and Nat Moore and people like that who were here. And
Wilder.
Florida came within a half, leading Georgia. And then, Gator fans were ready to celebrate the first ever SEC championship. And then Georgia came back and won. He went for it on fourth down, which Dickey never did. And then the next week had a chance to beat Kentucky, I think it was. Didn't win. And then it kind of went down from there. But they did have some talent. Sammy Green, some guys on defense that were really good.
Oh, man. Yeah. It was very entertaining, and the skill sets were unique. I remember intramurals going against one of the Gaffney boys, and he just ran circles around everybody. It was just something we had never seen, and he did that on the field. And didn't Wes play with Coach Dickey?
Yes.
Chandler?
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And clearly got to be in the top couple of receivers ever to put on a uniform at Florida. Do you remember the Auburn game when he left the cornerback just laying down on the ground with some moves?
No. I'm not sure what I had for supper yesterday, let alone that, but I hear you. All right, Dave, I got to run on close to a break here. Thank you for your call. Yep. YouTube from Neo. I like what Buster said about looking to implement more of an air raid mentality to the offense. Hopefully this means we'll see a decent chunk of deep balls.
Yeah, I hope so. I think that was one of the biggest gripes for Florida fans under the Billy Napier era, was they had all this talent at the skill positions, but they didn't utilize it enough. And I hope that they can stretch the field vertically, but they're also going to look to stretch it horizontally. And I think maybe the most interesting part about his conversation with you earlier was he's going to design the offense around the personnel. Yep. And if they have stud tight ends, I know no one wants to hear this probably, but they're going to run more 12 personnel.
That's right. They are. Oh, God. Yeah, you just said
and that's going to bother a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if they do run more 10, 11 personnel where you're seeing 3 and 4 wide receivers out there, at least you'll know that they're not trying to force, a square peg into a round hole. That's what is going to give them the best chance of being successful. So you'll know it was valid. It wasn't just hey, this is what I run. We're going to do this here regardless of the talent. If they're running more 10 and 11, it's because those guys earned it.
I agree. Dustin says, I hear the latest talk is Florida versus Purdue for a 2 seed. See Illinois as a 2, who I think Florida's better and should swap spots there.
Well, Florida beat Illinois in the preseason secret scrimmage. I know that not everyone played in that game, and it wasn't in front of a crowd. It was in Orlando, but Florida beat them by double digits. And you look at the AP poll, it's Florida and Illinois that are the 2 teams in the top 10 that have 6 losses. You look at everyone above Florida, no one has more than 4 losses. So I get the whole swapping argument, but if you were to ask me how many teams in the top 10 I think would beat Florida, I probably would say 3. I think they beat Iowa State. I think they beat Houston. Look at Houston's record against the 5 toughest teams they face. They're 0-5 against the toughest teams they face. They lost they lost Texas Tech, which is now missing JT Toppin. Purdue is not the team that everyone said it was going to be. I'm always fascinated by people coming in and saying Matt Painter's teams are going to contend for a championship. Let me see it first. Gonzaga's been really good. I watched them blow out Creighton earlier in the year. But other than that, they haven't really played a lot of teams that impress me. Nebraska, I think, is a little bit fraudulent, not to upset anyone. They went 20-0 to start, but now they're, 3-4 since?
Mm-hmm.
They got to showcase a little bit more improvement. It's about, in my opinion, I agree with you, that those early games are going to knock a team, especially in the rankings and the net. But what did everyone say about teams in February? It's about how hot you get before the postseason.
Exactly.
And I do think a little bit more credence should be given to that. I can understand why it's not, but I do think you look at who the hottest teams are since January 1st, since we turned the calendar to 2026, it's Florida. We throw out the term Torvik all the time. Torvik ranks the teams from an analytical standpoint that have been the best since January 1st, and Florida is number 1 in that. So it's not just opinion, it's being validated by metrics. So again, I understand the AP poll, I understand the coaches poll. A little bit hesitant to put a 6-loss team in the top 10. They've finally done it, and Florida's finally starting to get some respect from not just outside the analytical gurus out there.
And finally, Ann says, was Summerall at Spurrier's last night? Yes, he was. Interesting to see he and Dan Mullen having a conversation last night. It was kind of cool. That's our first hour. Hour 2 coming up. Stay with us here as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator sports, WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com, and let your brand shine.
It's a new year, kind of a new season, and Coach Steve Spurrier knows the importance of teamwork.
Any head coach that is successful, he's got to have a good staff. So team is very important, just like it is at Campus USA, and I'm proud to be part of that group.
Listen to the head ball coach and make the right play. Start your new year in a better financial place. Campus USA Credit Union. Check out campuscu.com. campuscu.com.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
When the unexpected happens, you need a legal team that's ready to fight for you, just like the Florida Gators. At Meldon Law, we're proud to partner with the Florida Gators to deliver winning results for those who have been injured at no fault of their own. With a strong record of success and a team that won't back down, Meldon Law is your trusted partner in tough times. Call Meldon Law at 352-373-8000 or visit us at meldonlaw.com.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by International Diamond Center, Domino's, Atlantic Roofing, Meldon Law, Los Linderos Tequila, Comfort Temp, Campus USA Credit Union, Pomodoro Cafe, Titan MRI and Imaging, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Crystal Air, Miapa Latin Cafe, Radware, Fairlife Milk, Gator Trim Lights, Quality Plumbing, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, and the Head Beer Coach.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Welcome into Hour 2 of Sports Scene on this Tuesday. Charlie, our producer. Charlie, go ahead and give a call. He should be okay. As we bring you Sports Scene here for the second hour, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio. Don't forget, they can make your home game day ready. Visit GatorTrimLight.com to get more information about them. And we are fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Go see them today, and when you do, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you. Many thanks to Quality Plumbing for sponsoring the first hour of the show. Crystal Air and Water sponsoring Hour 2, servicing air conditioners, heat pumps, and furnaces for all of North Central Florida. Crystal Air and Water is not comfortable until you are, and we appreciate all of our sponsors here. Don't forget all of our gas courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971, the only injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Meldon Law won't back down. And make sure that when you hear about high school coaches, Gator Domino's sponsoring those interviews. You can go to www.domino's.com today and check them out. Speaking of checking them out, always a pleasure to have my next guest on the show. You see him on the SEC Network. You hear him on basketball broadcast. Pat Bradley joins the show now here live. Pat, good to have you back. Welcome, and thanks for doing this again.
Hey, Steve, no problem. Good to be with you.
There's a lot of discussion now, Pat, about Florida and, are they underseeded, all of that. I don't think they are, and I don't know how much Florida really cares about that. But as you look at the big picture here, what are your thoughts about that?
They probably are underseeded, and no doubt in my mind, whether that's obviously they challenged themselves in the non-conference, but it was this time last year, well, really beginning of November, February, which same thing happened this year, where they found the right recipe and went on an absolute tear February and March. And so I think, with still being the defending national champs, you'd think they'd be in more conversations. That's kind of the funny thing, but you know how quickly everybody moves on these days. It seems like, every week there's something new. But they're climbing back in the conversation for me. There's no doubt about it. And Coach Golden's, I heard him say it doesn't really matter, but I'm sure that we know he's a great motivator, so I'm sure within all that, he's able to find something to keep lighting the fire under these guys. And I don't even know if they need it. I mean, these guys are champions. I know the backcourt's new. However, those guys have played a lot of college basketball. Even Bogey Flynn's only a sophomore, but he battled through injury last year, and so he's playing like an upperclassman. And the rest of the guys, I don't have to tell you. So I think this is a motivated group. Certainly helps that they have been through the ringer last year, and they can really rely on a lot of that experience.
A judge has again denied Bediako playing, and I think the Crimson Tide is going to keep asking judges until they hope somebody does this. But let's assume for the moment, Pat, he doesn't, but he did play a number of games. Do you think the committee will ding Alabama for that, or do you think they'll say, okay, a judge allowed him to play, it shouldn't hurt their chances?
Right. I would hope that a committee member wouldn't look at it like that and towards harmful of Alabama. I mean, I think they were 3-2 with them. And, it's like I said, I mean, they went and they got approval from somebody. It's like that he played. And when they said they couldn't, then they stopped playing him. So I don't think it shouldn't have any bearing, or a committee member should penalize them in any way, because when they said he was ineligible, in the NCAA, I mean, there's so many blurred lines. I don't know what side of the NCAA. I don't know what side of things the NCAA is ever on, to be quite honest with you, because we've been dealing with this not just this year, but I mean, it happens decades. One guy's cleared and another guy isn't. I mean, heck, I played with two guys. Think about this, who were wrongfully. This was back in '95. Sunday Adebayo and Jesse Pate. The NCAA screwed something up so bad, they didn't realize it, ruled these two guys ineligible after they already played for us half the season. Then they realized how bad they screwed up the NCAA. They allowed them to come back and play if they wanted to. So my buddy Sunday Adebayo played at Arkansas 1 year, ineligible. They said, okay, you can play. So he transferred to Memphis the next year. Then they said, yeah, we really screwed up. And he transferred back to Arkansas. So it's been going on forever. I just don't know what side of the deal NCAA is ever going to be on anything.
As you look at the SEC, if we assume, Pat, that Florida right now is the best team in the league, who's 2 and 3 for you?
Well, the Hogs are playing really well. They are finding their stride. They've got pretty much – they had suffered through an injury. They lost one guy who was a big part of their rotation, but other guys have stepped up, and they've got speed, they've got length, they've got athleticism, and they have that one guy that can put you on his back and go anywhere and win. And then right there is it's almost like any given night with Vandy, Tennessee, and Alabama. They've seemed to kind of move up there in the next level. And each team also, those guys maybe has a little bit of a weakness. When we talk about Vanderbilt, I know at times they've struggled with size. Alabama, they've struggled with depth at the big. That's why they wanted Bediako back so bad. He's 7-footer, so that's what they struggle on that defensive end. So in Tennessee, though, they're kind of forming. The kid Nate Ament is a legit. He's getting better and better and better, and they're always going to have physicality and size to Tennessee. So, they as much of a complete team as anyone in the SEC.
Pat Bradley joining us here from the SEC Network, talking SEC hoops. Florida plays Texas. Texas 8-6 in the league. Georgia 7-7. Auburn 6-8. Are they? And Kentucky's 8-6 too. Missouri's 8-6. But Georgia and Auburn specifically, Pat, they seem to be squarely on the bubble. How big was Auburn's win beating Kentucky?
Oh, it's huge, and it seems like that's been the story, really. Outside of what Florida's been able to do since the beginning of February, really just kind of, run through everybody. It's been a series of a team will lose 2 in a row, and then they have to have it almost turns into a critical, I don't want to say must win, but a critical W. Auburn gets that. It was the same thing to Texas A&M. It's like that to me shows the depth of the league, because you have teams. Georgia was the same way. Georgia had to have a big W the other day, and they got it against Texas. So you have teams that have been able to bounce back after losing 2 in a row or 3 in a row, now to stay in the conversation. So, I think projected now maybe 11 SEC teams, and I would imagine down the stretch, the motivation, that's the mental advantage and the sense of urgency, that's a powerful thing. And when you have a team that is desperate in a sense, that means a lot in trying to get that victory.
Quick preview, Florida, Texas here, Pat. Texas doesn't have a great deal of size, and that doesn't bode well most times against Florida. What do you, if Texas is to pull the upset here, what do you think they've got to do?
Well, Texas does have a big 7-foot, 250-pounder.
Yep.
He is a big physical, and one thing he does is he draws more fouls than anybody in the country. So, and I know Florida has plenty of depth at the front court, but that's always a concern. He's going to draw fouls on Chinyalu and Condon and guys like that. So you hope they can stay out of foul trouble, because you lose one of those guys. And the other thing is Texas has about 4 guys. I'm telling you, they can just take you one-on-one. You don't even need to draw a play. Like Dalen Swain, who's a 6'8" combo guard. He is fantastic. So they've got an older team, get to the free throw line. They can shoot the 3, but they prefer to sort of take it to the hole. That's why they get fouled so much. So they can put that kind of pressure on you, and and then start getting to foul trouble. Now Florida's got to sort of look to the bench and see who can step up. So they've got an older physical team with, like I said, about 3-4 guys you can give the basketball. They can go to work on you.
Always a pleasure to have you, Pat. Thank you for your insight. And, again, watch Pat. He does games on the SEC Network and, of course, in the studio, too. And hope we get you back before things kind of close down here. Thank you, Pat, for doing it.
Absolutely.
You got it, man. Thank you, Pat. You bet. Pat Bradley from the SEC Network, Talking Hoops. Graham, I want to ask you, because Texas does have that big dude in the middle. He's a big dude. But I get his point. But he's going to have to stay on the floor. And I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, but without him on the floor, I don't know how well Texas matches up down there.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I think that this is going to be a huge test for Ruben Chinyelu. He didn't have his best game on Saturday against Ole Miss, but one of the areas that he's improved in the most outside of his offensive touch is limiting his fouls. This was an issue for him when he was a freshman at Washington State. Came to Gainesville last year, plays in all 40 games, but he certainly had a lot of performances where he was, picking up 3rd, 4th foul within, 15 minutes left in the game. And that was before Micah Handlogton came back. So those fouls were very detrimental. Now you have Micah, Ruben, Alex Conant, and then obviously Thomas Houck right there, where foul trouble isn't as big of an issue, in my opinion. I'm intrigued to see what his conditioning is going to be like. I mean, because Ruben has had guys he's made guys' lives miserable. And if you're not able to put up with the combination of physicality and quickness that Ruben Chinyelu has, where he can keep guards in front of him, and then he can just absolutely body these 7-foot, 280-pound guys in the low post. If you can't do that for 20, 25 minutes a night, you're just going to have a bad time. And so Texas is going to have to shoot well from three-point range. I do think that Texas, I look at the AP poll and I look at the coaches poll, and I'm a little bit surprised that Texas hasn't got more respect, because they had that 5-game win streak. Yeah, they lost to Georgia, but I also think Georgia's better than I think a lot of the AP voters think. There's a reason that Georgia gets more votes in the coaches poll, the ones who are probably a little bit more qualified than us media to assess the talent on the floor. Georgia and Texas are 2 really, really good teams. I think that Texas is well coached, and playing on the road in the SEC is tough. So this is going to be a tough matchup tomorrow night, certainly. Florida's going to have to stay out of foul trouble. If if they can stay hot from three-point land, they're going to have a really, really good chance of picking up their 8th win in a row. I mean, that's
crazy.
It hasn't been done here, and it feels like a decade.
Yeah, and granted, the league isn't what it was last year. That's still hard to do. I don't care what it is. It's hard to do. By the way, Graham will be hosting here Thursday when I'm aboard the Gator baseball bus going to Miami. And then hopefully, if technology allows, Friday we do Sports Scene from Miami. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we will have more Sports Scene. Open the phone lines for you, all of that. Don't forget, much thanks to Quality Plumbing for sponsoring the first hour. Crystal Air and Water sponsoring this hour of Sports Scene on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Haley Kelsey. Number 10 Florida baseball is coming off another hot weekend with a straight sweep over Kennesaw State, closing out the series with a 12-9 win on Sunday. Head coach Kevin O'Sullivan hinted at having high expectations for the team following the return of 2 relievers.
Hopefully have everybody back, for Miami. Hoping to get, Russ Sanford back for Miami. And obviously we'll hopefully get, Luke back, and he'll be 100%. So, I'll feel really good about our bullpen once we get those 2 back.
The Gators will look to extend their streak tonight as they head into midweek play, hosting FIU at 6:30. Meanwhile, heading to the hard court, number 7 Florida men's basketball secured another road win against the Ole Miss Rebels on Saturday. The Gators will look to remain dominant as they go on the road again tomorrow to play the Texas Longhorns.
Hey, it's Steve Russell for Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Friends, they've been in business for 45-plus years, and the Cousins family has done just one thing, but man, they've done it right. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. I'm driving one right now, have been for a very long time. They've treated me right. They'll do the same thing for you. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
Gator Nation, ready to light it up? Gator Trim Light has already brightened homes and businesses across North Florida, and now they're bringing the heat with full color landscape lighting. Light up your palm trees, bushes, pools, patios, barbecue decks, everything in orange and blue. Whether it's a back porch retrofit or a full custom landscape install, Gator Trim Light makes your home game day ready. Turn your patio into the ultimate victory zone and cheer your Gators on to a big win. Visit GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. Gator Trim Light. Let there be Gator Light.
When the unexpected happens, you need a legal team that's ready to fight for you, just like the Florida Gators. At Meldon Law, we're proud to partner with the Florida Gators to deliver winning results for those who have been injured at no fault of their own. With a strong record of success and a team that won't back down, Meldon Law is your trusted partner in tough times. Call Meldon Law at 352-373-8000 or visit us at meldonlaw.com.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
It's a new year, kind of a new season, and Coach Steve Spurrier knows the importance of teamwork.
Any head coach that is successful, he's got to have a good staff. So team is very important, just like it is at Campus USA, and I'm proud to be part of that group.
Listen to the head ball coach and make the right play. Start your new year in a better financial place. Campus USA Credit Union. Check out campuscu.com. campuscu.com.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Stephen Graham today. Graham's going to stay one more segment, and then he will host Sports Scene on Thursday. International Diamond Center email, BB says, don't you wish you had been back in New York the last 2 days? No. No. As an only child, go out and shovel now. And I had to do that after about 2 inches of snow. And then when there were 2 more inches of snow and 2 more inches of snow, no. I don't know. Answer no. UFL knows Bobby Stoops retired, missing him on the sidelines in his in-game interviews. I like some of the UFL rules and innovations. They make things interesting, like interviewing a wide receiver after he makes a play, discussing the formation they just ran and what he saw the defense do. Look, I'm going to talk about some of these in a minute. Graham, I know we're in this world where college football is becoming more like the NFL in a lot of ways. But the NFL, like them, don't like them, they got it right. And think about what they do. I don't think you could ever do in college. They love parity. They want as many cities involved so that, their fan base can get behind a team that's going to be in the playoffs. You don't want that in college. Let's not have Florida be good this year. But I wonder, they're sometimes very slow to react to change. That's why I like some of the stuff the UFL does. It doesn't always work, but at least they're willing to try some things. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think you have to kind of be on the cutting edge, especially if you're a product competing with the NFL. And there are people out there who think the NFL can be improved, and I don't think they're wrong. But now they actually have a competing product and a little bit of, I think, still that kind of the hybrid between college football and the NFL, where everyone in the UFL is hoping to make it to the NFL.
Right.
So they're kind of got the college mindset of you can root for someone hoping that they still get their big break in the NFL. And I like the combination of that. I'm going to try and get down to Orlando for a game.
Are you?
I hope so. I hope so. Coach Becht is down there now. And
yeah.
I also think it's pretty cool that coaches can kind of be reassigned to different UFL teams. I think that's pretty interesting. But there's a lot of room for improvement, just like there is in every sport. We were talking college basketball changes with replay rules, trying to speed up the game. To sit here and say that any game out there is perfect, I don't know. I don't really like that. There probably are a few.
No.
But you look at soccer, you look at basketball, NFL, college football, all of these have had sweeping changes from the kickoff rule in the NFL to video replay in soccer. You have seen the game attempt to innovate every single year, it seems like. And if you don't do that, you're going to get complacent.
You are. I love this. The UFL is going to award 4 points for any field goal of at least 60 yards.
Oof. Now, I like that because you're already seeing so many 60-yard field goals in the NFL.
It's crazy.
And I sometimes hear people say that they want to see the kickoff rules changed because they don't want an offense to only have to go 20 yards before they can put 3 points on the board.
Yeah.
And I get where they're coming from.
Me too.
That kind of puts some defenses at a disadvantage.
Yes. They've also banned most punts inside of the opponent's 50.
Go for it. I mean, I'm a strong believer. We're in this analytical renaissance period now where coaches have, these binders and they're looking at the statistics of what the odds are of going for it on fourth down.
Go ahead.
No, just go for it if you're inside the 50 in my mind. I mean, what do you got to lose, right?
Today on Dan Patrick, they brought up a really good point. And I'm driving in here, and I'm nodding my head at what Dan Patrick said. the UFL has banned the tush push, which is interesting to me because usually they're the ones that innovate, and they instead have gone the other way. Patrick's point was when the Eagles won a Super Bowl with the tush push, oh, we can't have that. We've got to ban that. Last year they weren't that good. Oh, it's okay now. We're going to keep it. He's right. If the tush push is a bad play 2 years ago, it's a bad play now. But yet they're going to keep it. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just think you either you like the play or you don't. Here's some more they're going to do. They changed the options for points after touchdowns. And this was in response to the coaches. I guess they asked the coaches what they thought. Okay. The 2-point conversion will now align with the NFL at the 2-yard line. And it had been at the 5. And look, that's hard from the 5 to get 2. So the coaches said, let's ban it. And then, to your point, created more space for kickoff returners. The kickoff team was moved back 5 yards from the receiving team's 40 to its 45, and the receiving team's zone to line up was moved up 5 yards. I think one of the most exciting plays in football is a kick return. When you see some dude go, 80 yards or something, and I get the safety aspect of it, but I like that. I want to see more of that. To what you just said, I don't want to see teams have to drive 65-yard field goals now. I'll drive 20 yards and get 3 points. Something's wrong with that to me.
I agree. I like the risk-reward aspect of a kickoff. And I get the risk includes injury. And we have more information about head injuries. And I'm a little conflicted about it sometimes because kind of like the maybe little inner sadist in me with football wants to see them go for it, and even at the expense of some guys' health, which I'm not saying that's right. But at the same time, I get it. And we're going to have more and more players wearing guardian caps. And maybe that'll make it a little safer. And if we can limit head injuries, maybe we come back to these kickoff rules. But I like seeing teams have to go for it.
And then, this is the most interesting one to me. They're going to adopt the NCAA rule that requires only 1 foot in bounds for a catch.
Wow. Now that's the biggest change. I do think that it may be a little bit of a tell about the talent in the UFL. And not trying to make a little bit of a stereotype here, but the difference between a college catch and an NFL catch.
Yeah.
How many times do you watch an NFL catch and you're just wowed at a guy's ability to drag both feet and get it in bounds? We don't see that as much in college because guys don't have to do it. And I do think that the guys who can do it are going to play in the NFL. So it makes sense why the UFL is trying to have a little bit more offense, have more receptions, certainly. But that's a pretty big change, honestly.
And here's what the reasoning for it, they say. I didn't know the XFL did that. I did not know. They did, apparently, in 2020. They say easier to officiate. Okay. Minimize injuries because they'll have fewer unbraced falls while making a catch. I don't know about that. But they want offense, too. I think the UFL wants offense, and that's a pretty good thing.
Well, I think it's all about also being an appealing product on TV.
That's it.
And
yes.
the less you have to review, the less commercial breaks you're going to have to take. And I know those are critical to the sport. Don't get me wrong. But the common fan who's either at the game or even watching from TV wants the game flow to continue. And when you have to stop the game a little bit less to review a catch, that allows them to stay more involved in the game. I mean, how often are you watching a game and they go to a timeout and then they come back and then the team scores and you go to another timeout and then they kick off and then you go to another timeout and you have all these commercial breaks? It's one of the biggest gripes I hear from people. Anything to keep the game flow going, I think, benefits players, coaches, and certainly spectators.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you. And don't forget, Graham's going to host Sports Scene on Thursday. Make sure and tune in for that. We're going to Top Jimmy, I have to have you call back after my next guest, the last segment. I'll be glad to talk to you. One more high school basketball coach is come on next as you listen to Sports Scene live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
The NCAA Tournament is coming to WRUF this March.
It's no fun being injured. The last thing you want to deal with is long wait times or high costs. Well, guess what? You don't have to thanks to Titan MRI and Imaging. The experience at Titan MRI and Imaging is much more personal than the sterile atmosphere of a hospital. Joe and his team are personally involved and will guide you through the entire process at any of their 3 convenient locations. And they accept insurance. So if you need a scan, save time and money and call Titan MRI and Imaging. Learn more at TitanMRI.com.
The commitment from IDC to first responders is really extraordinary.
Veteran firefighter Johnny Hinton talks about International Diamond Center's ongoing support for our heroes in uniform.
IDC has helped us raise just massive amounts of money.
Johnny says in addition to corporate gifts to support charity fundraisers, IDC is there every day, helping first responders with an extra 15% discount on any purchase.
Again, thank you guys so much.
International Diamond Center at Celebration Point.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
Need a new AC and wondering who to call? I'm Kirk Smith, owner of Crystal Air and Water. Our team of professionals are strongly committed to responsiveness, problem resolution, customer satisfaction, and service excellence. We promise to meet the heating and cooling needs of your home with the most effective and energy-efficient products available. Maybe that's why we're the most liked AC company on Facebook. Follow us today. Crystal Air and Water, online at acpenguin.com.
License number CMC 1249384.
Yes, I'm calling Crystal Air and Water. Call Crystal.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation, locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
Craving real Cuban flavor? Come to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, where every bite brings you home. From our juicy roast chicken with yellow rice and black beans, our breakfast options to sweet plantains, empanadas, and our iconic Cuban cafecito, we've got what your taste buds are waiting for. And with 6 locations, there's sure to be one near you serving up warm hospitality and authentic breakfast, lunch, or dinner vibes whenever hunger strikes. So head over to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, the best Cuban food north of Miami. Visit miapalatincafe.com or stop by your nearest location today.
The best conversations happen with Los Landeros tequila, like this recent conversation between 2 Gator legends.
Coach, you know, it always impressed me how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave Los Landeros tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
Whoever said you can't have your cake and eat it too, never saw this auto loan rate from Radiant Credit Union. Because from February 20th to March 2nd, you can upgrade your ride and lower your monthly payment. Whether it's new, used, or a refinance, Radiant Credit Union has a special rate to make it happen. Plus, we offer fast approvals and flexible terms to make it easy. At Radiant, you can have your cake. Just keep the icing off the upholstery. Get rolling at radiantcu.org and apply for your limited time low rate auto loan today. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is Sean Kelly, voice of the Gators, and you're listening to the home of Gators basketball, right here on WRUF.
We're in the middle of doing a lot of interviews, and a lot of high school interviews today. In boys high school basketball, it is going to be Williston and Trenton in the rural division. And with us now is Trenton's coach, Eric Bullis, who's on the bus getting ready to go to the arena. Eric, thanks for doing this. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Steve. Appreciate it. Long-time listener.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Coach, for those who don't know, tell us about your team, how you got here, what's gotten you to this point.
Yeah, we've got a really great group of kids. We're in the rural class, which is the smallest class in the state of Florida. So, we have been growing this group since they were in middle school. very fortunate to coach them. Team full of great kids. We knew coming into this year after playing a very aggressive summer camp schedule last year and beating a lot of 5, 6, and 7A teams that we had a chance to have a special season. So we loaded up our regular season schedule very aggressively, and we're able to win our district and our region and set school records for wins, strength of schedule, state ranking, and it's been a great ride so far. But we're focused on trying to get one tonight and then get one on Friday and cut down the nets.
What do you see with Williston?
Obviously the flagship program in our class the last several years, back-to-back state titles, and just came up a little bit short last year. Specific to this year's team, it's a different group. It's a young group. I saw them last summer and knew they were going to get better and better and have a chance to be back in the Final Four and that bear out in their region. Athletic, a lot of quickness, a lot of backcourt pressure defensively to try and disrupt your offense and create turnovers, and a really good big kid in the middle. And of course, Coach Urban does a great job with that program. But it's a matchup I like for us. I think there's some things we can exploit potentially. But, should be a fantastic game. Usually the 2-3 game, which is what we're in, is a really high-level, close, hard-fought game.
It sounds like you kind of knew from, seeing these kids in middle school and all that, you were going to be pretty good this year. Is that the case?
Yeah, you never know how much kids are going to grow physically and then in their love of the game. We've been fortunate with this group that we have a very large size-wise roster for rural class. Our starting five goes 6'3" to 6'5",
Wow.
1 through 5.
Yeah.
We switch 1 through 5 defensively. We're interchangeable offensively, which allows us to play a very unique style of basketball and really control the boards in most games. And then we try to play the full 94 feet and play at a very fast pace. But, yeah, we knew several years ago when I took over, this is year 4, we had a chance to be really, really good at this point, and it has turned out that way. Huge credit to the kids. They bought in from day one, stayed the course. They do all the extra things in the off-season, skill work, lifting, all the conditioning on their own in addition to what we do, which is what you have to do to have a chance to have a special season.
Eric, as an old high school coach, I always ask, how'd you get into coaching?
I actually did some youth coaching while I played high school basketball in the Panhandle.
Oh, wow.
In the early 90s. And then I was a student at UF in Dr. Mike Mondello's class 30 years ago, give or take. And there was a ad for an assistant coaching position in the girls' side at Buchholz High School. And that really started my journey at the high school level. I spent the last 4 years, 2 years of undergrad, 2 years of graduate school, coaching with Chris Gardner. We made a couple state Final Fours, coached the Pestrack twins who played D1 softball, Brittany Davis, Catherine Close. I was a part of that whole group.
Okay.
So I did the freshman and JV head coaches jobs, and then I was Chris's assistant. And then I've been coaching on and off for about 30 years ever since.
All right, I'm going to end with this. Let's get a little X and O here. Based on what you know about Williston and your group, Coach, what do you have? What's got to go right for you to win and advance?
Yeah, I think for us, we've talked all year, high school level and above, you win 94% of the time when you win the rebounding battle and win the turnover battle. If we do a good job in those two areas, and specific for us, when we're plus 10 or more on the boards this year, I think we're 20-0. So those two things will largely determine our ability to beat a very good Williston team.
All right. I wish you luck, Eric. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate your time, and we'll see how it pans out.
Steve.
You got
Appreciate your time. Thank you, Steve.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Eric Bullis. Chris Gardner and I played basketball quite a bit. He was much better, of course, than I, but many a game over at Buchholz High School. It was a lot of fun back in the day. All right. Let's get some Facebook Live questions, courtesy of Ruzogro State Farm, your go-to agent in Gainesville, North Central Florida, for car, home, casualty, and life insurance. Zach, did you see Kirby and Mario throwing the jokes last night? Yes. I don't know how much of it was joking. I mean, it was a little bit, but yeah. Stay away from my guy. It was interesting last night. Jim on Facebook, it seems that Purdue and Gonzaga always underperform in the tournament. How hot and how healthy a team is at the end of the year is always the biggest factor. Not always, but a lot. And look, sometimes I don't care what the regular season does. If you are not successful in the postseason, and it's been that way for a while, please don't tell me that is not in the back of a kid's head. That doesn't mean you can't overcome it, but I think it is there. YouTube questions courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union, founded on the UF campus, serving our community for 90 years. Gators swag. Our softball team looks hungry for a national title. Baseball, turning it up since that Game 1 loss. When they say Florida's an everything school, that's the truth. Close to it. Not everything, and no school is. But, when you get, is it the Learfield Cup now? It used to be the Sears Cup. I think it's Learfield Cup now. And part of that is how many sports you have. Stanford has like 7,000 sports. So, they usually are very high up. But, yeah, look, right now, women's basketball is struggling, okay? But if you look at most of the other sports, pretty good. So, there's a lot of work that goes into that and all of that. So it's there. By the way, a friend of mine sent me this. I think I mentioned this before, but I don't think the amount was as much. According to a report by Sportico, Florida State University closed fiscal year 2025 with $437 million in athletics-related debt, which was a $200 million increase from the previous year. At the time of the reporting, the highest of any FBS program. 5 years ago, their debt was $17 million. That's nuts. But, right, apparently they're going to move forward and do some things there. But it is interesting that where that is. By the way, don't forget, Gator Baseball opens up a 2-game series with FIU. We'll have it live here for you tonight at 6:25. Other games today, typical sort of midweek fare. Alabama, though, does play at Southern Miss. Southern Miss is ranked, and they're good. So that's the marquee game in terms of midweek. Everybody else, Southeast Missouri at Ole Miss, Austin Peay at Mississippi State, you get the idea. But Alabama, Southern Miss, and Alabama is not ranked. So that's a pretty good matchup. And Luke McNeely will take – I was wondering why we didn't see him over the weekend. Well, guess what? He's starting tonight. So we'll see how long he goes. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll wrap up Sports Scene for today, and we'll take questions, calls, and comments. We have no guests coming up in the last segment. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Jalen Foote. Gators baseball made their way into the top 10 of D1 baseball's national rankings on Monday, following a 3-game series sweep against Kennesaw State. Gators are focused on adding to their 7-game win streak, heading into their 2-game series against FIU. The series begins tonight at Condren Family Ballpark, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Now looking at Florida's men's basketball. This past Saturday, the Gators secured a victory over SEC rivals Ole Miss with a 94-75 win. The Gators are going back on the road to take on the Texas Longhorns tomorrow. Head coach Todd Golden spoke to the media on the team's mindset when playing away from home.
On the road, we're pretty insulated. We keep it simple. We get here, we shoot, we go eat, we go to sleep, we wake up, and we get ready to play. And these guys have been ready, since the Missouri game in terms of competing on the road.
Tip-off is at 7 p.m. in Moody Center.
He's got the 1966 Heisman Trophy, the 1996 National Championship Trophy, and 7 SEC trophies. Now he's got a new trophy, a can of beer. Steve Steve Spurrier was the head ball coach. Now you can call him the head beer coach. Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager is available in 16-ounce cans at Gator games and stores all across Gainesville. You can also get it in the can or on draft at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Refreshing in all kinds of weather, Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager, a legend in a can.
Attention local and regional CDLA drivers in the North Florida area. Pritchett Trucking is currently looking for local and regional drivers. Are you looking for a driver-friendly environment? Pritchett Trucking offers more home time, great pay, and great benefits, including health insurance and paid time off. And they also offer a quarterly performance and safety program, plus a sign-on bonus. Pritchett Trucking's regional drivers are home weekends and local drivers are home daily. If you're at least 23 years old and want a rewarding career with great pay, don't let the opportunity pass you by. Apply online at pritchettrucking.com.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville and you'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com and let your brand shine.
When you need insurance, you'd like to get great coverage for a great rate, right? The big companies tell you they will, but how can you be sure? With Ann Tom's Insurance, you're not navigating coverage choices alone. Ann Tom's is an independent agent with 35 years of experience representing over 45 companies. Having an independent agent makes a real difference. It's that simple. Ann Tom's is local and independent, not just a phone bank. Go to atomsfl.com or call 352-275-9203.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Sunny skies for us today, but temperatures below average, getting to just about 60 this afternoon. Lots of sunshine, though, for us. Mostly clear tonight and cold. Lows in the lower to mid-30s with patchy frost tomorrow morning. Then our warming trend sets up. Highs in the lower 70s tomorrow. We'll make it to the mid to upper 70s both on Thursday and on Friday. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
WRUF, where Gator Nation comes alive. 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
All right, our final segment here. Let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Top Jimmy, hello.
Good day, Mr. Russell.
Hey.
You already mentioned it, but I think you mentioned it yesterday. You had Hoop There It Is on Monday, and then we're heavy with interviews. So a lot about what I want to talk about is kind of retrospective to the weekend. College game day is coming. You called it on Friday, correct?
Yep, they heard me.
They heard you. They're coming in for the Arkansas game on Saturday, yeah. So hopefully, I don't know. Chinyalu, everybody said he had a bad game against Ole Miss. Do you agree with that? I think he just didn't seem like I don't know what was going on there.
Well, I mean, bad game, right? If you don't get a double-double, Is that a bad game? No. I mean, he didn't score a lot. He was neutralized a little bit. I'll say that. But, hey,
okay,
NBA guys have off days.
That can happen. Yes, absolutely. And the games on the weekend and the ones last night, I think Kansas kind of proved Houston to be maybe a bit of, I don't know, maybe one-dimensional. Would you agree with me on that? If they don't knock threes down, they don't. I don't know. They play good defense, but they didn't seem to do much around the rim.
Well, remember they weren't a prolific scoring team last year either, but they were a better three-point shooting team, and that's why I think they've, if you want to call it, regressed a little bit offensively, because I just don't think they shoot the three well either this year.
Okay, good point. And allow me a quick trip to Gearhead zone. Tyler Reddick became only the sixth driver to win the Daytona 500 and the immediate following race. It's been in Atlanta now for, I think, almost 30 years, so it might have been always there. But it's pretty outstanding accomplishment. And I know people tend to think that race car drivers aren't athletes. You're wrong, in my opinion. But your thoughts?
Well, I've had that debate on this show several times over 28 years. I mean, look, if you do curling, are you an athlete? I mean, yes. If you play a sport, you're an athlete. That's always been my thing. No, I mean, that's always been my thing. If you're participating in a sport, you are an athlete. Now,
okay.
we can debate, is a race car driver as good an athlete as a skier or a basketball player? I mean, but again, that's for July and August. But no, of course, race car drivers are athletes. Yes.
All right, fair enough. And then what about when tomorrow night, Texas? What are your two keys? Give me an offensive and a defensive key to the game, and I'll listen to the rest.
All right, thank you. Well, defensively, do what you're doing. I think Florida has been terrific on defense. And, Texas has a big dude in the middle who will be a load. Can he stay out of foul trouble? And how many minutes? I think he'll have to play more minutes in this game than what he normally plays because of what Florida's front court is. Can Florida's front court wear him down a little bit? And then I think for Texas, they got to make some threes. They have to make some threes. If you're Florida, it's all about mindset, right? They've done except for a couple of games, done a really good job, whether it's home and on the road. And for them, look, when they do their thing in the front court, then what happens? They got to shoot the basketball and shoot the three. And recently, they've done that better. And what's happened? They've been pretty good. By the way, I looked it up. For what Reddick did, first time in 17 years that somebody has swept the first two events of NASCAR. So that's pretty good. All right. I got an email here. I did an interview with Riedel Anthony I don't think we have time for it, though. We do? I don't think isn't it 4 minutes? Yeah, so I'll do it tomorrow. But I had a chance to talk to him, and I mentioned this at the top, and I'll close with this today. The event last night was a lot of fun. I'm sure you heard about the back and forth between the Miami coach and the Georgia coach. It was pretty interesting to hear that and see that. But I hope you had a chance to hear the interview with Doug Dickey, 93 years young, and he just looks great. Such a joy to talk to him. Had a chance to talk to Philip Fulmer as well. So that was a lot of fun, too. Really good event at Spurrier's last night, and so many former players of his were there to say hello to him. Doug Johnson was there. Mike Peterson was there. Noah Brindise, Shane, new offensive line coach Phil Troutwine was there. John Sumrall was there. It was interesting. He and Mullen talked quite a bit last night. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for that. And had a chance to talk to Mullen, too. So hopefully you'll hear some of that tomorrow. But tomorrow we talk a lot of basketball. Seth Greenberg going to be here. The one time I'd have a chance to say hi to Seth Greenberg because game day's coming here. I'll be in Miami. But he'll at least, be here tomorrow. Also, Patrick Young will be here tomorrow. He's going to be speaking at an event here in Gainesville. We'll get his thoughts about the SEC tomorrow, too. And then a couple of high school basketball coaches, their team still in the playoffs. Elliot Harris of Buchholz and Pop Williams of Eastside will join us. And then Thursday, Graham Hall will host this show as I get on the bus to go to Miami. And then hopefully, as technology allows, we'll do the show from Miami on Friday. And hope to have another Gator football assistant coach on the show Friday as well. So that will be a whole lot of fun. Don't forget tonight, Gator Baseball, 6:25, first of a couple with FIU. Looking forward to seeing Brian Gerolman and Karsten Whitson, two Gators who are on that coaching staff. If you come to the game tonight, wear something warm. It's going to be chilly by the time the game ends tonight. Nice and sunny when it starts, but I promise you, you better wear something warm. It's a little better tomorrow, but tonight it'll be very, very cool. So we'll see what happens. And a final quick email. Sam says, do the Gators win out in the SEC? Yes, I think they do. I do. I mean, can Arkansas beat Florida? Sure, but it's here. It's here. And look at the schedule of who's left. I know you got to go to Kentucky. They're struggling a little bit. So, yeah. But the question you asked me is, will they or can they? Can they? Yes. Will they? I think they will. But if they don't, the world is not flat. It stays round. It's good. I promise. Thanks to Charlie for producing the show today. Thanks to you for consuming it. Kevin and the Sports Lab gang are next. Do not move the radio dial. I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Steve Russell. You're listening to WRUF.
This is Sean Kelly, voice of the Gators, and you're listening to the home of Gators basketball, right here on WRUF.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just tech?